Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is, people joining us online. Thank you for joining, and everyone here. It's fantastic to be here with Kerry's Gold Conference. It is Dreadnought's first time to be here. For those of us that don't know Dreadnought, we tend to collect the periodic table, making lots of discoveries on our company scale projects. But over the next 18 months, we have a pretty strong gold focus, an opportunity in front of us, which is why we're here, and I want to share that opportunity with everyone today. So, beautiful disclaimers. So those of you who do not know Dreadnought, we are an exploration company. We are a highly active West Australian mineral explorer focused on discovering the metals for our future. When we break that down, we're highly active. We are boots on ground. We are not a lifestyle company. We are geologist-led. We are drilling and on the ground as much as possible. Drill, baby, drill, as Simon Lawson said earlier. The way you make discoveries is by drilling holes. And we make sure that we're always putting out news flow, we're always generating new targets, because discovery is one of the greatest value creation events in this industry, and we're a company that's very much focused on that. One of the greatest places to explore is right here in, no, not in Western Australia. Here in Australia, Western Australia in particular, is a fantastic place to explore. We focus all of our efforts in Western Australia. And when we talk about looking for the commodities for our future, when you are doing greenfields exploration with project scale tenements like we have, like Mangaroon's 5,000 square kilometers of ground, you're always going to find something you weren't quite looking for. When you go out into the greenfields area, Looney was looking for, or WA1 was looking for copper gold, and they hit one of the best niobium deposits that Australia's ever seen. That's just, there's so many examples of that in exploration. You're going out to these new areas, opening up new search space, and making those new discoveries. So, for the next 18 months, we do have a strong focus on gold, which I'll go through, but we're always making discoveries of multiple commodities on our projects. Board and management, skin in the game. Some of the reasons why people should invest in Dreadnought, why you should trust us. We've invested over $6.2 million of our own cash into the company. We own around 15% of the shares on issue, and that 6.2 mil has been throughout the entire life cycle of Dreadnought, from beginning up to our most recent cap raise just a couple weeks ago. We continue to put money into this company because we believe in a very strongly aligned with shareholders. Which brings another point of pillar where Dreadnought takes a lot of pride, and that is how we treat our shareholders in our communications. We're constantly putting out news flow. We're being very transparent. And in the last few months, we've rolled out our Investor Hub platform that allows us to have two-way communications with our shareholders in a very public and transparent manner. We actually encourage all of our shareholders to sign up to the Investor Hub. You can go on our website, you can ask us questions. I will respond to each and every one of those questions. It doesn't matter what it is. We're shareholders ourselves, and we treat all of our shareholders with the utmost respect, because that's what we're here for. We want you to come on board, join us for our journey, whether it's getting on board now or when we get more advanced. Doesn't matter. Come on board, join us for the ride, and when the opportunity is right for you, we hope you'll get on board with Dreadnought. So we're actually sponsored by Investor Hub today, so if you click this thing here, you'll go in for a prize for an iPad. So thank you to Investor Hub for doing that. So if you sign up, there'll be a draw, and they handle all those things. But anyway, we're very focused on delivering our discoveries. We're strongly aligned with our shareholders, and we're here to deliver discoveries. So going into that, our focus for the rest of this year, going into next year, is gold, and niobium. There's an asterisk on that second gold, which I'll talk about in a second, but we'll go through what we're going to be focused on and what we're looking to deliver for our shareholders, and how we can get our share price back up and deliver value for our shareholders. Starting off, Mangaroon Gold, the near-term development and commercialization opportunity. Mangaroon Gold is a project, or Mangaroon is a project that we picked up just a couple years ago, and it's an area that had a lot of historical work done by guys like Alan McDonald up here. Nicknamed Lumpy. His son is actually a shareholder in Dreadnought as well. We love to share this story. This is a region that has been explored and developed by the pastoralists and the prospectors. Very limited modern exploration, very exciting opportunity to come in and consolidate this region. We're doing some of the first soil samples. We're flying the first airborne surveys. If there's going to be a big screaming discovery out here, we're going to be tripping over it here pretty soon. But an opportunity has presented itself, which is why we have a gold focus, and that's why we're here today. Black Cat Resources is bringing Paulson's online up the road, and there's an opportunity, like Brightstar has done, to actually generate revenue, start having cash flow for Dreadnought to self-fund our exploration. So when we consolidated this area, these pastoralists and prospectors all have granted mining leases. So we have about 5 mining leases within our project area, and so these are near-term production assets with approvals in place, by and large. And we have a mill coming up online up the road that has spare capacity. We deliver those resources on those mining tenements, and there's ability to bring in someone to help partner with us, dig up that ore, deliver it to Paulson's, and have a 50-50 joint venture profit-sharing arrangement. So low-risk opportunity for us to be a self-funding explorer as we find these high-grade, near-surface, at-surface lodes on our project. We have an end game, and while we're searching for that next major discovery, we can be commercializing the other discoveries along the way. That starts off with the Star of Mangaroon. This is one of the main assets within this area. This is discovered by Alan MacDonald back in the 1960s and mined through the 80s, running around 3 ounces to the ton. At surface, there's a small underground workings, which you can see there, and some of these drill intercepts are quite spectacular, and they're very, very much near surface. It's open at depth and open along strike. You see this conceptual open cut that we've run internal numbers on. Looks to be extremely attractive, and that's why we've entered that agreement with Black Cat Resources to look at how we can process this through Paulson's. We have met work underway at the moment, actually using Paulson's water and everything else to see how this ore is going to perform through that. And as we advance, we just finished, I believe, yesterday, resource drilling on this. So our job is to deliver the resource. We'll then do more conceptual studies and look to have this into production by the end of next year, should everything come online and the stars align for us. So those assay results will be coming out here in the next few weeks, continuing through September and October. And once they're all received, we'll have the resource drilling or the resource announcement by the end of this year. Stepping back, on that same mining lease, we have the Star of Mangaroon remains completely open along strike and at depth. You can see the drill holes on there. You've seen some of the Mako drilling before. Fantastic opportunity there, and talk about how that's underexplored. You know, this is a kilometer strike and there's about 20 holes in there. There's a lot of opportunity to find more high-grade gold within this system, find repeat lodes. One of those examples is Popeye, which is located just down the road. So again, a lot of this area has been mined by pastoralists and prospectors. There's a lot of history and a lot of technical knowledge that's been lost. Just a couple weeks ago, Nick Chapman, our exploration manager, went for a drive down to Esperance and met with the widow of one of the guys, Eric Kimpton, who actually dug some of these mines up here and actually owned some of the pastoral leases in the area. And through that, we actually found out why Popeye existed. And Popeye, it's a shaft. There's a high-grade gold and silver vein sitting there, and there's also a windmill, and it's always been a bit perplexing why it's there on this lease and not really talked about. And it turns out that Popeye prospect, which has never been drilled until a couple weeks ago when we put our first holes in, was actually sank as the water bore for the Star of Mangaroon, and it just happened to go down a vein that was running an ounce per ton of gold and a bunch of silver. So it just highlights the opportunity that sits out there, that sinking a shaft to look for water hit gold. What are we going to hit as we continue our exploration and do our drilling on this completely undrilled area? It's a very, very exciting proposition. So like I said, we've put our first 4 holes into Popeye, and we have expecting those assays here in the coming weeks. Stepping out further again, you'll see Star of Mangaroon is the mining lease just down here. We have a few other mining leases. There's 2 at Pritchard's, so there's 5 mining leases within this area. All of those represent near-term production opportunities because they are ungranted mining leases. Star of Mangaroon, which I just spoke about, so this is stepping out again. This is looking at the camp that we believe is the Star of Mangaroon that is growing. These soil contours that you're seeing on there, these are the first ever soil sampling program that's ever been done in this area. This is what our guys are out there doing at the moment, and we're continually to generate new targets and unlock this area. It's mined by pastoralists and prospectors. This is the first modern exploration being done. Who knows what we're going to find? This is where big discoveries get made as we look to find the next and the bigger Star of Mangaroon high-grade opportunities. We've put our first drill holes into 2 peaks. We've put our holes into the lead mine and diamond mine. We're mapping Pritchard and trying to get across all of these new targets that we're generating as well. So we see a steady pipeline, Star of Mangaroon putting the resource on. We're drilling the other existing mining leases as other near-term production opportunities and generating those new targets to fill that pipeline. And as we drill these things that are known, that have been discovered by the pastoralists and prospectors before us, we continue to learn about this new system, wrap our heads around it, because exploration is iterative, and the more knowledge we get, the better we can target and aim our drill holes in the right spot. But stepping out again, those are the existing mining leases. Those are the things that were found by the pastoralists before. Gold discovery is the main reason why we're here. Each of those mines might turn into something, absolutely. You get a beautiful blowout or something like that at depth, but we're here for that exploration. What's going to be sticking out of the ground as we do the soils, as we do the mapping, as we fly the first geophysical surveys, and that's looking for that big discovery. So when we take a step back across Mangaroon, we have 3 major gold camps that we've identified and recently consolidated. Star of Mangaroon that we just zoomed in on is just the one down here. About 20 k's over to the east, over to the west, sorry, we have Borda. This area is almost entirely unexplored. This is a map that we put up of stream sediment sampling. It took us 2 years to do stream sediment sampling across the Mangaroon project. 5,000 square kilometers is a lot of ground. And that's to identify these new camp scale project areas. Borda is the same lithostructural setting as the Star of Mangaroon camp with almost no previous exploration, and we've got a lot of gold and gold pathfinders shedding off of that area. That's a priority area for us. As soon as this drill rig stops turning, the guys will be crawling over that area, finishing infilling those stream sets, doing the soils, and looking to generate drill targets by the end of this year. We also just recently consolidated the high range, which is this large area up here. We did that deal just a couple weeks ago. That gives us an area that's very similar lithostructural setting to the original Bangamol gold field. So the Cobra Bangamol field, the original Gascoyne area, which has now gone into a national park. We now own the entirety of a very similar lithostructural setting of a region that produced a lot of gold. There's some fantastic gold anomalies in there. It's almost entirely untouched, unexplored for gold, and we're really looking forward to see what's going to unlock there. So not only do we have these mining leases, we have the Star of Mangaroon camp, and we have extra camps emerging into this new gold province that we'll be crawling over, generating targets and drilling as quickly and as fast as we can. Talk about the discovery asterisks. When you do exploration, you don't always know what you're going to get. When we did our first soil lines over Star of Mangaroon, we extended those soil lines to the edge of a magnetic feature, a magnetic zone. And the last 2 or 3 samples over that zone returned some of the highest grade gold base metal values that we had seen anywhere in the survey. And took us a few trips to go out there because we thought we were looking at what was going to be a gold prospect similar to Star of Mangaroon. And on the 2nd or 3rd trip, we started to notice the gossan sticking out of the ground. And over the next couple of trips, Crowe was out there doing the mapping, drone-assisted mapping as we do systematic exploration, and identified a 500-meter-long outcropping gossan horizon that was putting out some pretty ridiculous grades of zinc, copper, and gold. This gossan was unknown. This prospect is completely unregistered a couple months ago, and we've already put our first drill holes into it. It's a testament to how fast we move, how much we get boots on ground and turn our targets around quickly to make that discovery. We put our first drill holes into this. We've identified significant intervals of sulfide in there visually. Those samples are at the lab, and we expect those assay results here in the next week or 2. So very, very exciting. You never know what you're going to get, like a box of chocolates from Forrest Gump. Mangaroon's a gift that keeps on giving for us. So we're very, very excited as we continue our gold-focused exploration. If we see a compelling target like this, we're going to drill it and make that discovery as well. Which takes us to Mangaroon. We're still on the exact same project. Not only do we have the gold and the base metals and everything else, we also have the niobium. So those of us who have been following us for a while know that we hit pretty astronomical highs on the back of the rare earth boom, which coincided perfectly with one of our rare earth discoveries, also on the exact same project area. About an hour-and-a-half drive away from the gold and everything else. It's a big project area. But down at the Gifford Creek carbonatite complex, while we were chasing that rare earth discovery, we also tripped over some of the highest grade niobium intercepts outside of the Arunta region and a lot closer to the coast. It's a very, very exciting new discovery, a new carbonatite complex within Western Australia. We have the rare earths there. The niobium is something that we're going to be pursuing in parallel with our gold exploration strategy. The economics of niobium looks extremely attractive, and after a few years of rare earths, it's a lot simpler and more transparent than rare earths. So we're doing that mineralogy now. We've confirmed pyrochlore. We've confirmed that it's quite coarse-grained, and we're drilling more holes into this area now. We've hit some very nice intercepts up there. We announced a couple of weeks ago 50 meters at 0.9% niobium. It's pretty high grade, it's pretty attractive, and that's all in the saprolite zones. We believe there's going to be fresh niobium dikes in this area as well. That's what half of the niobium mines out there are mining into fresh material. So we see a lot of potential in this area to explore and make a significant discovery in niobium. So we'll continue to explore that. I believe we actually started drilling some of these follow-up holes this week. So bouncing back and forth between the gold and niobium as we have the rigs on site. We can do iterative exploration as we drill gold, bounce back to niobium, bounce back to the gold, and we'll follow up Tiger and any other gold prospects we have out there. We'll do everything that we can to drill, baby, drill. We have EIS grants coming out our ears. Our technical geologists are fantastic, and we get those grants all the time, that extra funding from the government. We have drill for equity agreements in place with Top Drill, who are doing a fantastic job for us, absolutely smashing out the meters, all to put more meters into the ground as possible for our shareholders, because the only way you're going to make a discovery is by drilling a hole. Other projects, people also know that we have quite a few projects in our portfolio. In a hot commodity market, that's an easier thing to maintain. We're looking down to bring that focus, as I said, to gold and niobium, and nearly all at Mangaroon. We have advanced discussions, for the Mangaroon rare earths. We delivered the resources on that. That is study ready. That's got a nice bow on it, waiting for any return in rare sentiment. Mangaroon nickel copper PGEs, we're in advanced discussions with the global company to look at replacing First Quantum Minerals on that asset, which is also at Mangaroon, exploring for that nickel and copper. Bresnahan, we're in advanced discussions for partial joint venture within that. And at Taraji-Yampi, that project where we had our Orion copper gold discovery in 2021, that project's going under strategic review and see if we can't find the best commercial outcome for that project and our shareholders. And Central Yilgarn, we have advanced discussions right now. Just spent an hour up in the room talking to the Americans. We're in advanced discussions for a partial joint venture over part of Central Yilgarn as well. So as part of our exploration focus, while Crowe and Chappie and the team are out there doing the soils, doing the mapping, doing the drilling, I'll be busy streamlining this portfolio, finding good commercial outcomes, put more money into our pocket, put more drill holes into the ground, and put more discoveries out there. Work plan, very busy. I've got to wrap up. As you probably pick up, we stay very, very busy. We'll be drilling for a while. I'm in way of lunch. Carrie's 3 takeaways. 1, we're on our pathway to become a self-funded explorer to fund this exploration, fund those discoveries that are going to change our lives. 2, we can leverage the critical metals through the discoveries across the commodities in our project areas. And number 3, and most importantly, we're shareholders ourselves. We are here to make a discovery, deliver shareholder returns. Thank you very much.